Hi, it is my pleasure to present to you my research in education. My research is about learning styles and brain hemisphericity, determinants of English academic performance. I am Mr. Jason JPentinio. I'm currently the program chair of the College of Teacher Education in Batangas State University, Lipa. In the continuous preparation of Filipinos for the global workforce, teaching of English, the lingua franca as a second language has been strengthened to secure communicative competence in both local and international market, particularly in a 2015 research study on the globalization of English which included top universities or top international companies. It was revealed that good communication skills in English add salary premium of 30% to 70% depending on the region, and that is according to Tejada KM 2018. This significantly identifies the necessity of developing Filipinos' competency in using English language in both oral and written communication. However, according to EF English Proficiency Index 2017, the Philippines only ranked third among the non-native English speaker countries in Asia. It is alarming that based on the two-year study conducted by Hopkins, the Filipino University graduates' median score was comparable to the proficiency of 5th and 6th grade school students in native English-speaking countries such as the US and the UK. These suggestively emphasize the declining proficiency and competency of Filipinos in using English language. This concerning dilemma could be brought by the relevant instructional strategies used in handling students with diverse needs and preferences inside the classroom. This diversity encompasses the differences of students' learning styles and brain hemisphere dominance, and that is the core of this study. Evidently, in the contemporary time, students with diverse background, personality, and learning preferences are sent on a single classroom. This has been a challenge for educators in tertiary levels to produce quality graduates. In recognizing this matter, along with a vision of SHED, the researcher had seen that analyzing and understanding students' differences in terms of learning preferences would produce professionals who are not only English language literate, but also competent enough in both local and international labor markets. For the objectives, this study generally aimed to determine the relationship between the students' learning preferences and their English language fluency. It covered the profile of the respondents in terms of age, sex, and academic performance in English, the learning styles of the students based on visual, auditory, and kinesthetic skills, and the students' dominant brain hemispheres. Besides, relationship among the aforementioned variables was also determined as a basis of defining materials in teaching English language that would cater students' learning preferences. In order to see the relationship among the aforementioned variables, the researcher utilized descriptive method. The respondents of the study were first-year BA Communication students of Batangas State University, Lipa. They are taking JED 106 Purposive Communication. The total number of freshmen enrolled in the program in the first semester of the AY 2018 to 2019 was used as the subject of this study. Survey instrument was used by the researcher as primary source of data. It was composed of three parts which focus on students' profile, learning styles, and brain hemisphericity. The first part included items to determine the profile of the respondents in terms of age, sex, and academic performance in English. The second part focused on the determination of students' learning styles. It is a standard 30-item multiple-choice self-assessment test developed by Victoria Crislet, and that is used to assess students' learning styles as to visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. The third, on the other hand, was centralized on the determination of students' brain dominance, and that is true, the 20-item yes or no standardized structure personality test developed by Personality Test Center Psychometric Services. Upon the administration The gathered data were tabulated, analyzed, and interpreted using frequency, percentage, and chi-square. Frequency is used to determine the characteristics of the respondents. Percentage, on the other hand, was used to determine the profile distribution of the respondents when grouped according to age, sex, and academic performance in English. Lastly, chi-square was used to determine the significant relationship between the profile of the respondents and their learning styles and brain hemisphericity. For the results of the study, the profile of the study in terms of age, sex, and academic performance in English were gathered in this study for the purpose of presenting accurate descriptions of the respondents. The table shows the distribution of the student respondents in terms of age. With the use of frequency, the researcher determined which among the given age brackets has the highest number of respondents. The table surfaces the distribution of the respondents in terms of age. As revealed, out of 70 respondents, 48 or 68.6% fall under the age bracket of 18 to 19, while 17, which is equivalent to 24.3%, are 20 to 21 years old. It is followed by the age bracket of 16 to 17 with a frequency of 4 or 5.7%. Conversely, the age bracket of 22 to 23 tallied the least number of respondents, which is 1 or 1.4%. The distribution could be due to the use of the college freshmen as respondents of the study. On the registry records of the Batangas State University, Lipa, most of the freshmen enrolled are 18 to 20 years old. The next discussion speaks with the profile of the respondents in terms of sex. The table shows the distribution of the respondents in terms of sex. With the use of frequency, the researcher determined the number of male and female respondents. As shown in the provided matrix, out of 70 respondents, 48 or 68.6% are female, while 22 or 31.4% are male. It can be seen from the result obtained that most of the students enrolled in BA Communication program in Batangas State University, Lipa are female. According to the study of Novella N. 2015 about a case study on the gender communication, most women are more inclined in communication than men. That is, majority of women tend to be expressive and aggressive in communicating ideas. Also, according to the study conducted by Wolf J. 2012 about communication styles, men engage primarily in mathematics and engineering field of works while women mostly engage in promotions, domestics, social works, and language works. With these, female respondents could undoubtedly outnumber males in communication concerns. Next on the list is the profile of the respondents in terms of academic performance in English. The table displays the profile distribution of the student respondents in terms of their academic performance in English. With the use of frequency, the researcher determined the high, average, and low achievers. The table shows the distribution of the respondents in terms of their academic performance in English. As revealed, almost one-third of the respondents fall under the grade bracket of 85 to 89. Specifically, it obtains the frequency of 22, which is equivalent to 31.4%. It is followed by the grade bracket of 90 to 94, with a frequency of 16, which is equivalent to 33.8%. Also, out of 70 respondents, both grade brackets of 75 to 79 and 80 to 84 obtain the frequency of 14, which is equivalent to the percentage of 20. Conversely, only 4 respondents fall under the grade bracket of 95 to 99. It tallies the least response, which is only equivalent to 5.71%. As seen, most of the respondents have satisfactory performance in English. In terms of learning styles, the table displays the distribution of the respondents in terms of learning styles. With the use of frequency, the researcher determined the number of visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learners. The matrix shows that most of the respondents are visual learners. It specifically obtains the highest tallied number of responses quantifying to 32, which is equivalent to 45.7%. Second on the rank is auditory learning style tallying the frequency of 24 or 34.3%. Evidently, as revealed by the data, kinesthetic learning styles obtains the least frequency of 14, which is equivalent to 20%. As seen, most of the respondents are visual learners. On the other hand, in terms of brain hemisphericity, the table shows the distribution of respondents with respect to their dominant brain hemispheres. It displays the obtained frequency and the corresponding percentage of responses on each brain hemisphere dominance. The matrix shows the results of the assessment applied to determine the brain hemisphere dominance of BA Communication students in Batangas State University, Lipa. As depicted, almost two-thirds of 70 student respondents are left brain dominant. Specifically, it dominantly obtained the highest tallied number of responses quantifying to 45, which is equivalent to 64.3%. It is followed by the right brain dominant with the obtained frequency of 14 or 20%. Contrariwise, both brain dominance obtains the least frequency of 11, which is equivalent to 15.7%. As seen, most of the respondents are left brain learners. Next is the presentation of the relationship between students' profile and learning styles. The table presents the results of the computations done on the assessment of the relationship reached between the student's profile and their learning styles. The computation of the data revealed that two components considered in the study yield results which manifest significant at 0.05 level of significance. In particular, sex and academic performance in English obtained p-values of 0.01 and 0.00 respectively. Such p-values are less than 0.05 level of significance. Thus, the null hypotheses are rejected and hence discloses that there is a significant relationship between students' learning styles and sex, and academic performance in English. Specifically, the gathered and tallied data revealed that most males prefer kinesthetic learning styles since they learn easily through actions, while most females preferred visual because they learn best through images, illustrations, and observations. Moreover, the matrix also highlighted the impact of learning styles on students' academic performance in English. As depicted, students with kinesthetic learning styles performed most satisfactorily. For the presentation of the relationship between students' profile and brain hemisphericity, the matrix shows the results of the assessment applied to determine the relationship between the respondents' brain hemisphericity and profile in terms of age, sex, and academic performance in English. As depicted, all the computed p-values are higher than 0.05 level of significance. This leads to the acceptance of the null hypothesis and concludes that there is no significant relationship between the student's profile and brain hemisphere dominance. Hence, this indicates that the brain hemisphericity of the respondents is independent to their profile. For the conclusion, the study comprehensively analyzed the relationship between the profile of the respondents and their learning styles and brain hemisphere dominance. The analysis concluded that most of the learners are 18 to 19 years old, and females with satisfactory academic performance in English. Majority are also visual and left-brain learners. As well, it is revealed that there is significant relationship between the students' learning styles and profile, particularly sex and academic performance in English, but no significant relationship between students' profile and brain hemisphericity. For the recommendations, based on the conclusions drawn, it is recommended that exploratory research should be conducted to examine educators' teaching styles and their relationship with students' academic performance in English. Research studies parallel to the present study may be conducted to effectively address the learning needs of the students through their learning preferences. Besides, other contributing factors to the decreasing English language proficiency of Filipino graduates may be explored in preparation for the global workforce. Indicated here is the list of the references I used in this study. And this concludes the presentation of my research study. Thank you so much.